Hello, my name is Maria Marasigan-Leon. I am a Senior Solution Consultant at ServiceNow, specializing in IT asset management. Today, I'll be showing you the new Enterprise Asset Management feature release, which are TCO, Total Cost of Ownership, Procurement Module, as well as the Admin Center module. Here is our forward-looking statement based on our beliefs and assumptions and on information currently available to us as of Spring 2024 presentation. Now let's take a look at some of the industry-leading features and capabilities, specifically what's new in the Washington, D.C. release of Enterprise Asset Management. With the asset total cost of ownership within the Enterprise Asset Management, you can utilize and maximize the asset value with comprehensive cost analysis of owning and managing your assets. So you will be able to understand your true financial impact of your enterprise assets by having that analysis of procurement, your maintenance, repairs, and disposal expenses. You're also able to strategically plan for future investments by benchmarking asset cost to have that comparison with the lifecycle performance as well as enhance your asset refreshes. Lastly, you're able to gain that visibility and control over all of your asset-related expenses throughout its lifecycle. Here you have your asset TCO within the Enterprise Asset Workspace, and it's within the Asset Analytics module. Here, we're able to see all of the dashboard that's associated with the asset total cost of ownership, which is our new feature here. So as asset managers, you often struggle to calculate and understand that total cost of an asset throughout its lifetime because it's obviously complex in nature, and you have the ability to utilize some of the multiple different systems. However, it becomes cumbersome. And so with this total cost of ownership, you now are able to really calculate that overall cost of your enterprise asset throughout its life cycle. You're factoring both your direct and indirect cost. And obviously, yes, it's a very difficult calculation to make, but TCO makes that very easy for you. Okay. And so you're able to have your location filtered by location, stockroom, model category. At this point, I have HVAC as our model category and classification. You are able to see your reached benchmark TCO, any approaching benchmark TCO if applicable, and capital planning information. You're also able to see your top 10 models with the highest average TCO that's specific to the HVAC system that we're looking at here. You can see here your assets that have reached that benchmark cost by category and what that asset expense distribution looks like, whether those are for parts, for assets, for any labors, whether that's repair, general, or maintenance, or is it under contract, warranty, or maintenance? So this is where you can see how that's distributed among the cost. You can also see here your monthly asset expense distribution, and that gives you a specific information per month on what was spent for that specific month. So for example, here in July, we spent in a variety of expenses here, whether those are contract under maintenance, warranty, and in labor, we spent it in general, maintenance, as well as repair, and a purchase of the part specific to this HVAC system. Okay, as we scroll up, we're able to see the comparative reports that I will pull up shortly, but this gives you the comparison between what the older model will cost you versus the newer model. And what does that look like in terms of the benchmark TCO? Where does that fall? And so looking specifically at the reached benchmark TCO assets, we can see here that we have HVACs that have reached their benchmark status. We can see that display name, where it's located, the useful months, how much is it costing us, what is the asset TCO thus far, and what is that benchmark cost that we've put in for this specific model. Okay, and when was it installed? So if we were to take a look specifically at one of these assets, Here we can see the details of the assets and how much it's costing us, right? So this is first installed in 2018. We can see that we have 4 child assets. That is the parts that is associated with the split system. And we can see also the contracts that is associated with this. The expense lines will show you exactly what the expenses are and what category they're under, as well as how much that's costing us, okay? And all these related tasks will be here. And these are the work order tasks that's specific to this split system, which rolls up to that expense line and how much that is costing us. Now, this is the asset hierarchy where you can see all of these assets that is part of this split system. We can also see how much that asset TCO is looking for this specific asset. We can see that the total cost thus far is $7,000. What is that benchmark cost that we put? That would be that 4,700 here. And what is that threshold is included here as well. So as we can see that we have reached that benchmark already, that we have incurred all these expenses and have surpassed that benchmark cost. Now, going back to my asset analytics, looking at the comparative reports, we can see that for this specific machine, the older model has cost us thus far about $254,000, and our benchmark, which it has surpassed that already, was $235. So far, that older model has surpassed the benchmark cost, as well as the newer model, right? So with the newer model, it's costing you about $185,000 thus far. And so with the newer model, you are able to see the difference between how much you're actually spending, which is much less than the benchmark cost, as well as the older model. And so this is where you're able to really see and make a informed decision of whether to fix or buy a new model. So going back to our asset analytics here, so we are able to now help asset managers make decisions, such as when to repair an asset versus replacing, as well as that repurchasing items. You now have the ease to really calculate some of those TCO that require data in multiple systems. And now you have that full understanding of how much an asset costs throughout its lifetime, which empowers you as customers to really escape that build versus buy mentality. And you're now able to make informed decisions. So with our asset total cost of ownership, you're able to now track asset costs throughout your asset lifecycle. Again, it includes that initial capital cost, expenses related to support, labor, and contracts. Users can also compare asset TCO to model TCO target and other assets as a benchmark to enhance asset refresh. And that concludes our total cost of ownership. With the new Enterprise Asset Workspace Procurement Module, this will be your new central hub for procurement lifecycle. You're able to manage asset acquisition workflows, including asset requests, bulk stock orders, refreshes, and purchase orders from that single streamlined dashboard. You're also able to analyze and report on all procurement with key metrics, such as expenditures by vendor, sourcing requirements, and order statuses. And here is our procurement module, which is a view as a central hub for enterprise asset procurement activities. Many of our managers have had such difficult and time-consuming to really gather accurate and complete data on all of their enterprise asset procurement activities. So asset managers really need that consolidated view of procurement-related tasks for all of their enterprise assets. So with the procurement view in Enterprise Asset Workspace, customers can now manage the various procurement tasks efficiently, such as monitoring requests and requested items, as well as those generating some of that purchase orders, receiving slips coming in from all of your assets that are coming in from shipment, and catalog tasks, which you're now able to also automate some of those asset record generations for all of your requested assets, including your error handling of the asset record generation. And so you can see your important actions here. You can see whether those are POs that are in draft for more than 30 days, any assets that are pending transfer orders, any POs on order for more than 30 days, and any assets that requests that needs to be escalated are here too. And so with the procurement overview, you're able to see purchase orders that's pending delivery, maybe any requests that are pending approval, what are my orders by vendor, and any requests that maybe are the last 30 days that have been open or not completed. You can also see how much we're spending per vendor and what are requests that are requiring to be sourced out to be ordered. And you can see here the open purchase orders as a list as well. And so you can see the request tabs here where you're able to see all of the requests coming in and who are they for, what those items are, and any purchase orders and any receiving slips that's coming in, as well as that advanced shipment notification. So if you leverage that advanced shipment notification, you can automatically create those asset records for assets that are in transit. So with the procurement overview here, you are able to now review and analyze all of your expenditures by vendors, order statuses, and other vital metrics for informed decision making. The Enterprise Asset Workspace Admin Center is now going to be your new central hub for initial EAM configuration and all of your ongoing administration. Here you can set up and configure EAM features, including asset total cost of ownership and risk. You can also configure model asset class tabs, bulk import models and classes. And lastly, you're able to manage lists including model categories, classifications, linear asset types, and shipping carriers. Here is your admin center. So from the Enterprise Asset Workspace, we've navigated to that admin center module. And this view is a central hub for all of your initial enterprise asset management configuration and to perform that ongoing administration function within that single workspace, right? So administrators typically, they have to perform configuration functions from multiple different places. And so with the enterprise asset management, this admin center gives you that centralized place to initiate all of your EAM configuration and obviously for all of your ongoing admin functions. So EAM admins can set up and configure all of your EAM features, including the total cost configuration, including your model asset class tabs, your model category, that model classification, sources, your imports, any kind of linear asset types, stockroom types, your bulk import where you can create models and assets and you can update those models and assets here as well. Additionally, this is where you can do your workflow assignments. Again, we've talked about TCO configuration, the task rate cards, that labor rate card, and any kind of risk configuration that you wanted to add here, whether that's risk likelihood, impact, and what score that would be, as well as that shipping information where you can enter your shipping carrier and carrier integration. You can also see here that you have your asset knowledge base, and this is where you can export some of those knowledge base, and obviously the normalization opt-in within that content service. And so that is your admin center within Enterprise Asset Workspace. Thank you for your time today. And if you have any other information, questions, concerns, or if you just want to see all of our products, you can find them at www.servicenow.com/IT Asset Management, ITAM, and at www.servicenow.com www.procurement.com/EAM for any enterprise asset management related questions. Thank you.